In this video, we're going to talk about the relationship between central angles and the arc measure, and also arc length. So here we have a circle, and the center is, we'll call it Q. So our arc, AC, is highlighted in yellow. That's the minor arc since it's less than 180 degrees. And angle, the measure of angle AQC, is given as 120 degrees. The central angle and the arc that it intercepts are equal. So the measure of arc AC also equals 120 degrees. If we look at the major arc that's left, this major arc represents the rest of the circle. So the measure of major arc ABC would equal 360 minus the 120. So that would be 240 degrees. So this arc would be 120. This arc would be 240. And you can write the arc measure outside the circle and the central angle inside the circle. So you can do a lot of these kind of problems. You can cut off more than one central angle. So for example, let's say this angle is 40, and we'll just call this D, E, F, and we'll put G right here. And our center we can call C. So in this particular circle, the best thing to do first is put the remaining degrees in. So DF goes through the center, so this is a diameter, meaning it cuts the circle into two parts of 180 degrees each. So we know that this whole angle over here would be 180. So the measure of DGF is 180 degrees. What that also means is arc DEF is 180 degrees. Arc DE would be the same as its central angle. So arc DE would be 40 degrees. And since we know that this side is a semicircle, then to get arc EF, we would simply have to do 180 minus 40, and that would be 140 degrees. So it's a little bit like a puzzle. So to find the measures of the arcs, we find the measures of the central angles. Besides the angles, we can also find the length of the arc. So if we highlight arc AC, this is a piece of the circumference of the circle, so it does have a length. If you cut it off and stretched it out, it could be measured with a ruler. And in order to find arc length, you need to know the radius or the diameter of the circle. So I'm going to just highlight that in pink. That was given to us as 5 centimeters. And the central angle is 60 degrees. So this is a measure of the circumference, but we need to know about how much of the circumference have we actually taken off. So if you angle as a fraction of the circle, arc length is given as x divided by 360 times the circumference. So x equals central angle measure or the arc if it's given to you, and c is circumference, which is pi times diameter, or 2 times pi times the radius. So again, arc length is a measure of circumference. So we use the central angle or the arc degree measure, whichever we're given, and we use the circumference pi times diameter or 2 times pi times the radius. So in this case, the central angle is 60 degrees, so I know that the arc measure is 60. So that tells me what fraction of the circle this is. It's 60 degrees out of 360. And then we're given the radius, so 2 times pi times 5. So 360 divided by 60 divided by 360 times 10 pi. And if we do this on a calculator, we get a decimal of approximately 5.2 centimeters. So if you were to cut this arc off and stretch it out and measure it on a ruler, it would be about 5.2 centimeters. You can also always leave your answers in terms of pi, but for our purposes in this explanation, we'll just multiply it all out and get a decimal answer.